Hi everyone, this is Brian here with TradeToBeFree.com, and right now I'm looking at Applied Optics, and we sold this one at the right time. I tell you, we got out, I think at 99 was our last portion of our position on our swing trade, and then we got out at 90, I think, on the position for InvestBeFree.com, and I think both those positions had like a 45% profit within a few weeks, and I noticed one of the Asian managers sold a lot of shares ahead of the release. I think this was like 2 weeks ago. It was a large position that they sold, and then also the CFO and CEO I think sold a little bit. That wasn't that big of a position that I saw, but I just had a feeling that because they didn't raise guidance in the pre-announcement, that they may have a negative surprise or a positive surprise, for this release. So I got out ahead of the release and, it hit target anyways and made a big move. But, now at this point, looks like the revenues were dropped quite a bit. The forecast for next quarter down 10%, but the earnings are not going down. The estimates for earnings weren't going down. So this looks like an overreaction to the news that we know of right now. And the stock, if it gets down to 60, 65, is going to have probably around a 10, 11 P ratio, which is pretty low for the growth that it has and the leadership position that it has. So what I'm looking at right now is it looks like it's doing a double bottom pattern pre-market, and it looks like it's going to trend higher from here. But who knows? Once it opens, it could turn over and pull back and go back even lower. There's actually an uptrend support, I think around 65-ish or so. And I think the 50-day moving average is down around there too. So, it may come back, may go below the 50-day moving average. If we get a strong reaction in the morning and a strong double bottom pattern on a 5-minute chart with a lot of volume, then I'll probably jump in on a trade, and it actually might come back and come back to the this level up here to near 90. Who knows? I mean, this could move a lot either way today, so that'll be interesting to watch. And the one I'm really interested the most in, though, is ANET right now. ANET, A-N-E-T, Arista Networks. This stock had a really big earnings beat, revenue beat, and also it raised its guidance a lot. I think 10% or so on the top line. And so this one looked really good as far as an earnings eruptions trade goes. And right now we can see that the stock is moving sideways in a flag pattern. It does have a pretty rich valuation, but it has very strong growth and strong growth expected. We can see this sort of flat base pattern it's been in for the past several weeks. It's breaking out of that right now. It looks like, let me double check that, make sure. Yeah, 163 is the top of that range. So it's breaking out of that, and that might be a big mover today. I think this tends to move a lot during or on an earnings beat, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've seen, as you can see right here, this is a big earnings beat back here, and you can see the stock moved up 2 days, and it from the open it moved up 12% in 2 days. So that looks really good. The stock behaves well, reacts well to the entry point that we have in our earnings eruptions course. So we had a big winner on STMP that came up. We missed the first entry point, but we caught the second one and had a nice profit on STMP yesterday. This is another earnings eruptions trading setup that may hit the entry point after the open. We'll have to see. And that one looks really good. The other one is Yelp that I was looking at, and I'm not sure if Yelp actually beat their earnings estimate and raised guidance. Let's go take a look here, get a quick snapshot. Okay, so it looks like they've got an announcement, partnership announcement. They raised their revenue guidance. Okay, they lowered their earnings guidance, but they beat and on both top and bottom line looks like. So that it's not a great report on the surface, but again, they've got a a partnership now with Grubhub that may help them a lot, and they're certainly gapping a lot higher. And we've got this gap here, gap fill, up to around 41, 40.76 at the bottom of that candle. You know, given that we're breaking out of this pattern here, this flat base or flat top breakout, as some people call it, you know, we're breaking out of that, and you know that may head up to 41.76. Although, you know, I like to see a really solid earnings beat, a really solid guidance raise, and without knowing too much about that partnership between Grubhub and Yelp, you know, I'm not completely sure of the fundamentals on this, but you know, it may, given the strength of the gap and this pattern here, it looks like it wants to go and go towards that 41.76. So that's another interesting one here. And GoPro too. I mean, this is below the price range that I like, but it had a beat, and you know, if it breaks above the pre-market highs, it may go up. You know, could go up 10% or more this morning. But it's in a pretty bearish long-term trend here. You can see this doesn't look too good. I mean, you could almost argue it's in a large rounding bottom pattern, almost, but not really. So we are kind of maybe making a higher low and then a higher high today, maybe. You know, if it gets above that 940, which it may have. Yeah, it's right above that level right now. So, you know, if it gets above the pre-market high, it might run. But again, when you have that bearish long-term pattern, especially on a Friday in the summer, these can turn over really quickly. Sam Adams had a great run last Friday in the same kind of pattern where you have that long-term downtrend that was being broken at the open on the big earnings release. But, you know, there's a reason why it's in a long-term downtrend to begin with, okay? So, and it's got all that overhead resistance, and people are going to say, oh, geez, I can get out now and get out at break even, or I can get out at, you know, a smaller loss than what I had yesterday. So anyway, that, you know, that may go up, that may run early this morning and then turn over this morning too later on. So we'll see how that plays out. But mostly interested in ANET and Yelp from what I see so far this morning, and watching Applied Optics for a really bullish intraday pattern, or a bearish one too. This could turn over as well and come down and test that 50-day moving average. So, all right, that's it for now, guys. We'll talk to you again real soon.